Over these last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of experimenting with herbals, both old and new, working to fill my days with the betterment of a craft I love so dearly. And recently, I shared with you the crafting of one little experiment, unsure at first of how it would go. And if I'm being completely honest, it was, at the time, purely made up of guesswork and approximations. But despite that, it has come to be perhaps one of my favorite creations as of late. And so, upon popular request, and with my own satisfaction of the craft, today I'll be sharing with you my new salve, created specifically to bring calm and clear healing to your days. Hello there, you guys. I hope you're all doing well. So in my last video, I showed you all, was chatting with you all while I was making a salve. And I told you in that video that if I liked how it turned out and, was generally happy with it, I would make a video to share the recipe with you all. And I am really happy with it. It actually has probably come to be one of my all-time favorite creations. As of late, at least, and so today I thought I'd share it with you, and a lot of you all were very interested to get the recipe as well. Now, I will say before we begin, it isn't necessarily the easiest one to create, and it does require some ingredients that I'm not entirely sure all of you will have. I also made it with 2 salves that I had already created, so in my footage and filming that I do have of making it, it looks a lot quicker than the process actually took. So this salve was made with the anti-anxiety salve that I shared with you all in a previous video, which I will link down below, as well as the plantain salve that I also made recently. Now, the one that I think will be a little more challenging for some of you to make and recreate will be the plantain salve, because that one was made with raw foraged materials that I got back in Virginia. And I'm not even sure if that grows out where I'm living now. So it's not quite as easy to replicate for all of you, as plantain leaves are not really something that you can go and just pick up at your local grocery store or tea shop. But I still thought I would share this recipe with you all. And it is something that you can experiment with and create in your own way and mix it up a little. The reason I mixed the plantain salve with the anti-anxiety salve for this salve was because I wanted to create something that had both a physical healing component along with an emotional healing component. And the plantain salve itself is really very good for physical healing. And I like it a lot to have in the kitchen, just for general kitchen nicks and burns, or I used it a lot when Hazel was still teething and I had puppy bites all over my hands, and it worked wonders. But there are quite a few other herbs and plants that would work well as a physical healing salve that you could substitute for the plantain, and I will make a list down below in the description of plants you can use. Now, another thing that was a little bit different about how I made this salve was, the infusion process for the oils. So I guess I should start and explain how to make a salve for any of you that are unaware. My general go-to recipe is 1 cup of infused oil to 1 ounce of beeswax with a small scoop of coconut oil. So naturally, the first step to creating a salve is creating the infused oil. I personally prefer to use olive oil. It's inexpensive and works really well for this general type of thing. You are welcome to use any other oil that you prefer or have easy access to, but for me personally, I just go with olive oil. I can get it in big quantities and it's more inexpensive and just at the grocery store. Now though, when it comes to infusing, there are 2 methods that I follow. A slow infusion, which is more traditional, and a fast infusion that's a hot infusion that you can do in, within 24 hours. And when making the salve, I used 2 salves that took each different infusion method. So the anti-anxiety salve was done with the quick infusion, whereas the plantain salve was done with the slow infusion, which takes 6 weeks to complete. I do have videos detailing the fast infusion method, so I will link those down below, and it is in that anti-anxiety video, which I would recommend watching that one through to make the anti-anxiety salve. And honestly, you could make this salve by making the anti-anxiety salve and just adding in a healing component to it. You don't need to make 2 separate salves to create the one that I've made. But if you want to do a slow infusion, you could do that way as well. And so I am going to explain how to do a slow infusion now. Doing a slow infusion, basically you chop up your herbs, or if they don't need to be chopped, sprinkle them in a jar, add in your olive oil, however much you're going to be using, or whatever oil you choose, cap it off, and put it in a dark cabinet or just a dark space for 6 weeks, giving it a little shake every once in a while. And that's it. It's really quite simple, and you do get a really nice product in the end. Now make sure once those 6 weeks are done and you strain the herbs out of the oil to squeeze the herbs out so that you really get all of that good juice and oil and all of the essence of them, if you will. But either method would work. So with all that said, here's how to make this calm, clear, healing salve. First, gather your ingredients. For the body of the salve, you'll need 1 cup of an oil of your choosing. As I've said and shown before, I prefer to work with olive oil, but feel free to try any other oils such as grapeseed or apricot oil. If you do change up the oils, however, the ratio of oil to beeswax may change, so take some time to experiment a bit. But if you're going to go with olive oil or an oil similar, you'll also need 1 ounce of beeswax and a small scoop of coconut oil. Now for the herbs used. You're welcome to change or exchange any of the herbs in this recipe in order to make this salve work for you or your situation. Each one was placed into this recipe because of its specific correspondence or property, so they can easily be exchanged with other herbs that carry the same or similar attributes. Or if you feel like experimenting a bit, you can change them up to fit a specific need you may have. You're also welcome to add essential oils to the product as a substitute or in addition to said herbs. For this salve, I used lavender for peace, chamomile to bring calm, lemon for happiness and for its purification property, as well as plantain for its wound healing benefits and anti-inflammatory properties. Personally, I add a purifying element to all of my healing spells, especially when it's something that involves emotional healing, so that instead of masking the problem, it helps clear the problem so that those good elements, the lavender and the chamomile, can fill in and make it all good and happy, or rather in this case, calm and peaceful. Using this method helps to heal the problem at hand rather than just stick a band-aid over it. To make the salve, begin by measuring out your ingredients and adding them to a jar. Personally, I just went with a good handful of lavender, chamomile, and plantain, with just a few lemon peels added in. Then coat the herbs with the oil of your choosing. If you're choosing to do a slow infusion of the oil, cap it off now and place it in a dark cabinet for 6 weeks, giving it a little shake every now and again whenever you remember. Now, if you're choosing to do the faster hot infusion, place this jar, making sure it's heat safe first, in a pot of water, bringing it to a boil on a very low heat. In this way, you create a double boiler type situation that helps protect the herbs and the oil from burning. You're also welcome to give this a try in a crock pot or any other slow heating methods that you may employ in your kitchen. Leave it here to cook for a minimum of 3 hours, though best if left on the heat for 6, giving it a stir every once in a while. Keep an eye on the water, you may have to fill it up a few times throughout the process as well. Once this time has passed, take it off the heat and cover with a kitchen towel overnight. At this point, the slow infusion and hot infusion will be at the same stage in the process, and both will follow all directions going forward. Begin now by straining the herbs out of the oil into another jar, making sure to squeeze every last bit of the infused oil out of them that you possibly can. Put this jar of oil back into the pot of water, this time alongside another jar with the beeswax. On a medium heat, slowly melt down the beeswax while simultaneously bringing the oil up to temperature. Once the beeswax is melted, pour it into your jar of warm infused oil and give it a good mix. Add a scoop of coconut oil, and if you are choosing to add essential oils, add them in now. Give it one last mix, then pour it into a clean tin. Let it set until completely cooled and hardened. And then there you have it, your very own homemade, calm and clear healing salve. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, have a beautiful, glorious day, and I'll see you guys soon.